Family,
let's
about
settle in.
Meghan Markle's
Because today
newest
we're
Harper's
unpacking
Bazaar
one of the most
because,
exhausting,
my goodness,
obsessive,
it's got
and
people
frankly
spiraling.
ridiculous cycles.
Not because
in the
it's
British
outrageous,
press.
not because
A
she's
pattern so
dripping in
predictable,
diamonds,
not
that you
because
could set
she's
your watch
serving
by it.
some maximalist
Anytime Meghan Markle, Duchess of Sussex, mother, advocate, businesswoman, steps outside, shares a photo, or appears without a full face of glam, the media acts as if she's staged a national broadcast during a crisis. It doesn't matter whether she's photographed running errands, appearing at an event, filming a podcast episode, or simply existing in natural light. The reaction is always the same. Uproar, pearl-clutching, think pieces, and a chorus of self-appointed analysts declaring that she's sending a message. It's as though Meghan breathing without palace permission is a security breach. Meanwhile, when other royal women or celebrities, particularly white women, do the exact same things, the British media isn't being celebrated too much. For being down to earth, are just angry, relatable, to thrive, confident, or let's remember, magazines choose their covers. The contrast is staggering. The double standard is blatant. I'm amazing without makeup. And the hypocrisy is so baked into the coverage that it has practically become its own subgenre. But instead of criticising the magazine, today the article blames breaking down how the UK press, she is especially commentators who seem the article then claims Meghan's rewriting the narrative, unrealistic ways to twist Meghan's choices. Because these same outlets spent years editing, and by the end of this video, nitpicking her pattern will be impossible to ignore. They criticise her when she looks tired. In 2025, Meghan appeared on a Harper's Bazaar cover. They criticise her when she's embracing a fresh-faced, natural look, bare-faced. No dramatic contour, none of this, no exaggerated glam, just healthy skin, freckles visible, and let's address the truth. A refined simplicity. Meghan looks good the tone because she takes care of herself. It was refreshing. She prioritises it was peace, modern, wellness, it was authentic, and mental health. But instead of acknowledging the artistry or celebrating the freedom to be photographed in your own self, certain British writers need to apologise as if Meghan had launched a psychological warfare campaign. They don't owe the world imperfections. A particular columnist suggested the photos were a stealth. The article implies that being naturally pretty, that Meghan was attempting to one-up other women. That logic is absurd, beautiful, and deeply sexist. The kicker? If Meghan had openly credited the makeup tabloids who would mock on the look, because nothing was hidden. They complain she's too manipulated. Meghan is not the issue. White celebrities post fresh-faced photos. The Independent tries to place Meghan in the centre of a societal crisis and body she didn't create. Instead, Middleton steps out with minimal makeup, media and the press calls it timeless single woman. Princess Eugenie appears with soft natural glam, Meghan has never and she's praised for embracing modern simplicity. Quite the opposite. But Meghan, the real somehow a bare face from the fact becomes that Meghan an act of deception, doesn't need validation, a PR strategy, press. A humble brag, need heavy makeup, a threat to she doesn't need stability. Apparently, she simply shows up. What we're seeing isn't journalism, and moves on. It's power dynamics, confidence dressed up without their permission. Because for these commentators, the problem isn't Meghan's skin. Infantilizes it's Meghan's refusal by suggesting to conform to a script fragile that was written without attractive celebrity, without spiraling Let's rewind to 2023. Women understand the difference between the Daily Mail and multiple outlets ran glowing stories praising royal women for leaning into the clean girl aesthetic. Minimal makeup, women, dewy skin, is the constant tearing down of other basically women, the exact same look Meghan was crucified while pretending to be feminist. So why the split treatment? Let's also acknowledge something deeper. It's the person women of colour are held to harsher royal women get a protective cushion. Their looks Meghan gets scrutinised, politicised. That's not a coincidence. It's editorial strategy. Meghan, stepping out bare-faced challenges noticeably thinner at certain events, that's why the backlash feels so personal. Avoidant. The irony is almost comedic, almost silent. The article attacks the record for promoting unrealistic any woman's health while simultaneously demanding that she look but the less contrast in coverage to make critics comfortable. Kate receives that's not empowerment and that's policing someone's Meghan receives forensic dissection. And here's the truth. The media is perfectly capable of sensitivity. Meghan's natural confidence is a threat. When
all
Meghan
the smear
reactivated
campaigns, all the
Instagram,
headlines, all the
meltdown,
attempts to break her,
when she announced
and
the
yet
podcast,
she still glows.
meltdown,
She still thrives.
when she showed
still
up in
represents
sweatpants
grace
during
and
a
resilience.
recording session.
That
Is what
total
irritates her
implosion
critics
across
every
tabloid
time
front
they attack her,
pages.
they expose
A critic
themselves,
reviewing
their
Meghan's
insecurities,
podcast barely
their biases,
discussed
their
the
obsession.
actual content.
Instead,
Meghan
she
doesn't even
hyper-focused
need to
on Meghan's
respond.
tone of voice,
Her piece,
facial
is the answer.
expressions, and yes,
And Harry,
even her sentence structure.
every time Meghan
the
is dragged
entire
for something
review
meaningless,
read like
it
a personal
reinforces his
diary
decision
entry
to take
rather
his family
than
out
an
of that
analysis
toxic
of a media
environment.
project. He sees
Meanwhile,
the pattern.
let's be honest,
He knows Meghan
royal
is targeted
interviews are famous for
disproportionately.
vague, cautious,
These attacks
often
confirm
confusing
everything he has
phrasing.
said for years.
Members
about
of the
British
institution
press.
have elevated
This
cryptic
photo shoot
speech
was
into
supposed
an
to be
art
simple.
form.
Instead,
But somehow
it became a
Meghan
mirror
is the only
reflecting
one
the
accused of
insecurities
being
of those who
difficult to
resent
follow.
Meghan's strength.
The inconsistency
Her natural
is so
face
dramatic,
is not
it
the
practically
crisis.
becomes satire.
The crisis is the
Let's lay
media's
out the
inability
pattern plainly.
to let her live
White
peacefully.
woman launches a lifestyle
Meghan
brand.
showing her bare skin
She's a savvy
doesn't harm
businesswoman.
women.
White
What
woman
harms women
starts a
is
podcast.
constant criticism,
She's building
double
community
standards,
and
the
inspiring
media's
listeners.
obsession with policing
White woman
female
posts a
bodies.
makeup-free photo.
Meghan is
She's
simply
celebrated
existing
for
and doing
authenticity.
it beautifully.
Meghan does
And the
any
best
of these
part?
things
Meghan
calculated,
is winning by
performative,
thriving, by
a
living
PR
authentically,
move,
by refusing to
unrelatable.
shrink.
or the
Her
media's
glow
favourite
is her revenge.
humble brag.
Her joy
It's
is
not
her
about the
statement.
action.
Her peace
It's about the
is her
identity
power of the woman
Critics
performing it.
can complain all they
Meghan
want.
represents
They can
independence,
lecture, they can
multiculturalism,
nitpick,
and
they can
modernity.
disguise jealousy
Three
as
things
journalism.
conservative media factions
But
have
they
built
cannot
careers
stop
undermining
Meghan
They
from
can't
shining.
control her. They can't
Because
gatekeep
here's
her.
the truth.
So
Meghan
they attack
Markle
her.
doesn't need
Earlier
makeup
this year,
to be
Kensington
radiant.
Palace announced
She doesn't
they would
need
no
to dull
longer
herself
disclose
for
Kate's
public
clothing
approval.
details, and she
A
certainly
huge
doesn't
shift,
need permission
considering
to be
Kate's
confident.
image was built around
If her
accessible
beauty
fashion and
bothers
high-low
anyone,
styling.
That's their insecurity.
Did certain commentators
not her
question this?
responsibility. Did they investigate
So,
why
to the
this
critics
sudden
clutching
secrecy?
their pearls
Did they
over a
analyze the
makeup-free
PR strategy?
photo?
Meghan
Absolutely
will
not.
continue to do exactly
Instead,
what she
the talking
wants.
points mirrored
She will
palace
continue
messaging.
to represent
Kate
authenticity.
is focusing on serious issues.
She will continue to live
No
freely.
critical thinking
and nothing,
no context,
not articles,
just
not
repetition.
headlines, not narratives.
Yet when
will
Meghan
dim
appears
her
in
light.
something comfortable,
That
sweatpants,
is why she
activewear,
continues
natural
to
glam,
win.
the headline
And
becomes,
let's be honest, Meghan
she's
winning
manipulating
doesn't
public
look the way her
perception
critics
again.
expected.
It's not
women.
loud,
Same
not flashy
exact behaviours.
It's not her clapping back on
Opposite
social media
reactions.
or releasing
And these
angry
reactions
statements.
are not spontaneous.
Her victory
They're curated.
is quiet, graceful,
This is the
and
core
rooted
of the issue.
in the simple act
Meghan
of
is
living her
punished
life
for being
without
visible,
asking anyone's
for being
permission.
outspoken, for being biracial,
Every time she
for being
steps
American,
out confidently,
for being accomplished
the same
outside
people
the
who
monarchy,
tried for
not
years to
shrinking
break her,
herself,
are
for
reminded
refusing to
that
play
they failed.
the obedient Duchess role.
That's
that
why
the
these
tabloids
articles
fantasize
keep
about.
appearing.
They're
Her
not
freckles
critiques,
are treated like
they're
symptoms.
symptoms.
Her career
Symptoms
moves
of an
are
obsession
treated like
that refuses
attacks.
to fade.
Her joy
because
is
Meghan
treated like
refuses to
provocation.
collapse under
Her
their
silence
pressure.
is treated
And
like
here's
manipulation.
The more they
Her
try to
words
bring her
are
down,
treated like
the more
threats.
relatable she becomes
This is
to
not
women
objective
who
reporting.
understand what it's like
This
to
is
be judged
targeted
unfairly.
narrative manufacturing.
Meghan's strength
Commentators
isn't
like the
just
ones we're
admired,
discussing
it
reveal
resonates.
themselves unintentionally.
Her critics accidentally
Their own
amplify
writing
her influence
exposes
every
that
time
Meghan
they
occupies
nitpick
a place in
something
their
harmless.
minds that they cannot
Think about
escape.
it. A
They write
bare-faced photo
not because
should
Meghan
not
is
be
doing
front
anything
page
unusual,
discourse.
but because
the
Meghan
desperation
existing
to control the
confidently
narrative
outside
around
their
Meghan
control turns
feels
even her
threatening
quiet
to them.
moments into national
They mistake
debates.
their obsession for
That
relevance.
says more about the
They
media's
mistake their
fragile
bias
ego
for journalism
than it does about Meghan's
They mistake
appearance.
their fixation for truth.
Women know what it
Other
means
royal
to be
women
scrutinised
are allowed
unfairly.
to evolve publicly.
Women know
Celebrities
what it feels
are
like
allowed
to have their
experiment
confidence
with aesthetics.
misunderstood as arrogance.
White women are allowed
Women
to live
know the
unfiltered
sting
lives
of being
without
judged,
scrutiny,
no matter what they do.
But Meghan
Meghan becomes
a mirror
the centre
for
of a
experiences
manufactured
countless
cultural
women
battle
face
every
and that's
time
why she inspires
leaves her
them.
house or posts
When the
a
media
picture.
targets her, they
The
think
real
they're
story
diminishing her.
isn't Meghan.
In
at all.
reality, they're
It's the
proving
British
her point
media's
every single
refusal
time
to treat her with the
They
same
highlight
dignity
the
they
very
extend to
toxicity
others.
she walked away from.
Meghan is not the
They
problem.
justify her
Media
boundaries.
bias is.
They justify
If you're
Harry's
tired of watching the
protection.
same double standards
They justify
play out,
the decision
tired of the
to
unfairness,
relocate their
the
family.
coded language, the
It all
relentless
becomes
negativity.
one long
Make sure you
validation
subscribe
of
to
her
the
truth.
channel, hit the
And
notification
while
bell,
critics
and
obsess
drop a
over comment,
whether Meghan's
sharing
skin
your
is
thoughts.
too perfect.
This community
She
is
is
about
busy,
truth,
focusing
fairness,
on things that
and
actually
pushing
matter,
back against
philanthropy,
media manipulation.
mental health, community
Your
work,
support helps us
motherhood,
continue
and
exposing
building a
the
life
patterns
far
others
removed
refuse to
from the
acknowledge.
chaos she escaped.
Thank you for watching.
Her priorities speak
and as
louder
always,
than their
stay
articles ever
thoughtful.
could. Stay
Here's the part that
compassionate
truly stings
and
for the
stay
people invested in
unbothered.
tearing her down.
Just like
Meghan doesn't react. She doesn't stumble. She doesn't seek their approval. Her